Hello YouTubers. I'm doing this video to spread the word of primary pediatric myelodysplastic syndrome. It's very rare among children. So rare it is found in 4 of every 1 million children. And I'm from Alaska. We have less than 750,000 people, and you do the math on those statistics, and that's 2, maybe 3, and I have 2. My 11-year-old he was given 5 years or less, about a year and a half ago, and with his prior medical condition, they refused to do a bone marrow transplant on him. He is not unable to fly. It's really difficult because of his equipment. It would take a long time, 3 to 6 months, to get all the paperwork done so he can get on a plane and go to Oregon or Seattle and get tests done. And nothing's proven. They won't come up to Alaska to do anything. They say that they'll look at him, but they want him to go down there, and that's too much stress on him. I also have a 7-year-old who is on the completely other end of it. He is now 50 pounds. He's a little small for his age. He's healthy. He's a normal 7-year-old. And they'll do a bone marrow transplant on him only when he gets to a certain level of bone marrow failure or something else that's linked with the MDS that he has. And I want to raise awareness of it. It doesn't seem to be known that much among many people because it's not something that you see a lot of. I did the ice bucket challenge to raise the awareness for ALS. I support raising awareness for everything. I wish we could find a way to help cure things, and mainly for our future generations. Our children shouldn't be the ones to carry these horrible things. And it's just so hard to have to plan, having the time to plan out one of your children's funeral services, and plan out what to do with his body, and plan out everything that a parent shouldn't have to do. A parent should not have to bury a child. That's just not right. And because Alaska is so far out here, we don't get much publicity as it is. It is so hard to get a hold of people, to try to get a hold of celebrities, anybody, to put a face to this, to get the word out, to get the awareness out. I'm not asking for, an ice bucket challenge to raise awareness of millions and millions of dollars for research. I'm asking for spread awareness, spread the word, spread the name, spread the knowledge of what this is, what it does, how it can be found, how it can be treated. Me and my wife learned that there was a study done actually a couple years ago, I think it was 2010 or 2011, that was able to determine if a child was going to get this. Well, Alaska doesn't know about that. Our hematologist doesn't know about it. Our primary pediatric physicians for our kids don't know anything about it. But doctors up here don't know. The people up here don't know about it. And I don't have many followers. I hope that the ones I do have will spread this, will share this video, and we will get word out about primary pediatric myelodysplastic syndrome. That someday it will be easier to diagnose, it will be easier to treat, and that kids will not have to go through this severe, that we won't have to lose a child to this. Our doctors never knew what was going on with our 11-year-old. Genetically, things came back normally. Mentally, things came back normally. They were never able to pinpoint anything. And when our 7-year-old had some blood work done for something, then they found out that there was something wrong. And they rechecked the 11-year-old. They checked the 7-year-old. And they found out what it was. And they called us in and said, hey, your 7-year-old has the potential of developing leukemia. A very rare strand that is untreatable. That can only be corrected by a bone marrow transplant, yet the bone marrow transplant will not be approved until he is in bone marrow failure, just before he develops leukemia. It is a very small window, a very short amount of time, and very stressful knowing about this, hearing about this. I wish we would have known sooner. We would have been able to plan better. Would have been able to get more advice, try to get more doctors in. It just didn't happen because of how rare it is. The doctors didn't even know to look for it. I pray for strength every day, because one day I'm going to bury my child, and right now we're planning for it. Our lives are on hold to plan for his medical. Our lives are on hold for him, for both of our boys that have it. And we have 5 kids. We have 4 boys, 1 girl, and the 2 middle boys are the ones that have it. And it feels like our lives are just on pause, just waiting for our 7-year-old to be sick enough to get a bone marrow transplant. And it sucks because, you know, you're in a tough spot as a parent. You want your kid to be healthy. But at the same time, we know that our 7-year-old can only be healthy, completely healthy, if he has a bone marrow transplant. So we want him to be healthy so he doesn't have to go through such a long experience, because that'll take 3 to 4 months at minimum, a maximum of a year. And it's just painful. And then on the other hand, we want our kid to get sick. We want our 7-year-old to get sick enough for the transplant so he can be healthy. So we're stuck on the fence. We're stuck fighting for both sides. We want him to be healthy, we want him to be sick. We want the bone marrow transplant. It's painful. It's very painful. And I pray for strength all the time to help, because every day is a question of what's going to happen. Is he going to get sick today? Is it going to change today? We don't know. There's no way to track it except for doing a complete blood count, and that we do once a month. And now we're doing bone marrow biopsies every 6 months. And our 11-year-old, he's had so many blood transfusions. He's had so many platelets to keep his numbers up to where he's able to function. We believe that because of his high amount of blood transfusions, that the iron is starting to take a toll on his body. His heart rate is dropping when he's sleeping. He's normal during the daytime. But it's just not normal. They can't figure out why. We've tried to get different medicines that will help raise his heart rate while he's sleeping, and they last for about 10 minutes and they wear off. His heart rate is going from 80 to 90 when he was awake, down to as low as 36, 37 when he's sleeping. That's not normal. And there's no way to get the iron out of your body except for a couple medicines. And one of them is a drink mix that is very, very sludgy. But like I said, our 11-year-old has other medical. He has a feeding tube, and it would not be able to pass through his feeding tube because of how thick it is. It could affect his blood counts while it is helping to deplenish the iron counts in his blood. There are so many side effects. There are so many things that are unknown. It's still in studies. There's nothing that we can really do right now. So we're just sitting here praying and planning and trying to help each other. And I hope and pray that whoever watches this will have the heart to spread the word of primary pediatric myelodysplastic syndrome, to get the word out that MDS doesn't just affect adults. It doesn't just affect men in certain career styles. It isn't a lifestyle. It's not contracted through careers or where you live. Our 2 boys were born with it, and we just found out. It's very rare. 4 in 1 million. Less than 750,000 people in Alaska. That balances out to about 2 to 3 kids, and I have 2 of them. And I pray that you just spread the word. Please help us get awareness of this. Please help us find a way to diagnose this sooner. Just help us. And please pray for us.